Hi, I'm Marlene Peterson, President and founder of Libraries of Hope. I'm often asked, what is the Well-Educated Heart all about, and what does Libraries of Hope have to offer? My 3-second elevator speech is this. We're all about relearning the lost arts of educating hearts of children. But I have a feeling that won't answer all of your questions. The truth is, the answer can only unfold in layers, and you'll find we talk a lot about layers around here. So I would like to start you off with the first layer and lay out 5 distinguishing features of the well-educated heart. Number 1, our objective is to prepare children to live lives of maximum joy. Jobs and career may be part of that, but they are not the end destination. Number 2, our focus is on mothers, not on curriculum or method. There's a very natural occurrence in nature. Young offspring search for something to attach to, and then they grow to be like that to which they have attached. Humans are no different. So our aim is to first develop warm, rich personalities in moms who will in turn influence and inspire their children. Relationships matter in the well-educated heart. Dr. Gordon Neufeld wrote, "You cannot parent a child whose heart you do not have." And I would add, you cannot teach a child whose heart you do not have. How a child feels when he's around you matters more than the words you say or what curriculum you use. I often hear moms say they're not qualified to teach their children because they were never properly trained. What that usually means is that they've never finished college, so they feel inadequate. I'm not aware of any university in any place or at any time that has offered a degree in motherhood. But it's about time we have one. So you'll find the beginnings of a mother's university at welleducatedheart.com on the training page. The tuition's affordable because it's free. It works into any schedule because you work at your own pace. The more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. I've assembled the finest faculty of heart specialists that ever lived to mentor and train you. It's a minor detail that they're all dead, but their spirit and their personalities live in their writings. And then we'll bring in the research of modern experts who are confirming by studies that what was taught 100 years ago is correct. I hope the combination of the two, past and present, will give you the confidence to move forward because the world needs what you alone are uniquely qualified to give. Learning around here is a piece of cake. If your children are hungry, would you feed them a cup of flour? Or a spoonful of salt or baking soda? Would you offer them a teaspoon of vanilla or a couple tablespoons of vinegar? Do you think you'd like to give them a stick of butter to suck on? And even if they love sugar and chocolate, would you sit them down to a bowl full of sugar or a half a cup of unsweetened cocoa? Of course not. But if you take all of those ingredients, which are totally unappetizing individually, stir them all together in a 9x13 pan and bake them in the oven for 30 minutes, you'll have the most deliciously moist chocolate cake to serve them, and I guarantee they'll ask you for more. It's become the way of education to serve learning by individual ingredients. Vocabulary, spelling, plot, phonics, setting, rules of grammar, alliteration, onomatopoeia, facts to memorize, and it's making our young children lose their appetites. But serve them stories, songs, poetry, pictures, and allow generous portions of playtime. They're not only going to keep coming back for more, you're going to find their heart and your heart wrapping around and attaching to each other. If you're the one who administers the daily dose of vinegar, they're going to run when they see you coming. When they get a little older and want to bake their own cake, then they're going to want to know all the ingredients because they've already tasted the cake and it was delicious. As the warm-hearted Pestalozzi wrote, "It is for a long time the business of the heart before it is the business of the mind." There is a time for academics, but childhood is not that time. If you look around our site, you'll see lots of cake, fine art, music, plays, games, crafts and food, and an endless supply of stories to warm their hearts and stir their souls. Please feel free to use these resources any way you'd like. Number 4, we promote spiral learning around here, not linear learning. Linear learning is where you have a list of subjects to teach and assign a grade in which to teach them. If we were machines, linear learning would be perfect. Just download the information on the hard drive. It will stick. But because we're human, it's largely a system of test and forget. Most of what is learned in this way is thrown away in the pile of who cares. We're not machines. Our minds and hearts are very complex and very selective about what is allowed in. Neural pathways need to be retraveled multiple times and interlaced with other similar neural pathways, creating networks of thought and emotion. Just as our bodies require constant nourishment, so do our minds and hearts. You can't eat an apple once and expect to be supplied with its nutrients for the rest of your life. Spiral learning is about a lifetime of learning, line upon line, layer upon layer, here a little and there a little. It's a way of returning over and over again to similar and familiar things, deepening the understanding each time around. Everything on our site is organized around a 12-month rotation schedule to facilitate spiral learning. Rather than 8 or 10 individual subjects, there are only 2, a study of people and a study of nature. We use history, biography, geography, cultural studies, literature, poetry, music, and art to help us understand human nature and to learn the art of living well and of living together harmoniously. All of these subjects weave together into one great whole. History puts old heads on young shoulders and makes our children wise. Biographies give our children the chance to shop for character traits with which to adorn their own lives. Literature allows them to see life through 1,000 different eyes instead of the narrow view of their own experiences. Cultural studies enable them to appreciate and respect differences and find similarities. Geography helps them understand how mountains, rivers, and oceans have shaped and continue to shape human events. Poetry, music, and art transfer life lessons from the greatest and noblest souls who have ever lived to a place in your children's hearts words alone cannot reach. It's heart-to-heart learning. In the nature spiral, we begin by helping our children to love the beautiful world they live in by giving them eyes to see and, more importantly, hearts to feel. As their curiosity grows, we start to unfold the laws that science has discovered. As they see the perfect order, harmony, and beauty of nature, and the attention to the tiniest detail, they come to feel connected to the designer and begin to get a sense as to where they fit into his grand design. Nature is God's university, and in time, the two spirals start spinning together, applying the lessons of nature to life, and life becoming more abundant because of the gifts of nature. There's great flexibility in this 12-month rotation. It's meant to be your servant, not your master. This 12-month rotation schedule allows multiple ages of children to study the same topics at different levels. Your job is to get the spiral spinning by serving cake and creating an appetite for more. As your children get older, you just need to get out of the way and let them do their own chewing because all the flavor is in the chewing. I suggest a system of notebooking for the well-educated heart to help young hearts begin to hold on to things they care about and to help them start to make connections as they enter these spirals of learning. There are layers of reasons for these notebooks, one of which is they can help satisfy proof of work for those of you who have to report to school officials. Finally, the fifth distinguishing feature of the well-educated heart is that true education is between a child's soul and God. To take spiritual influences out of your child's learning is like attempting to garden without sunshine. As a child's heart attaches to a mother can then help reconnect a child to God. Remember, we grow to be like that to which we are attached. A child will develop more of the character traits you hope he'll develop through a genuine feeling that he is a child of God than will ever happen by 1,000 well-crafted lessons on specific character traits. But more importantly, God will begin to lead your child on a customized, individualized course of study. How to do that will have to wait for another layer and another time. But this I know. The trend to start rigorous academics at younger and younger ages is hardening the hearts and deadening the souls of our children. It is a law of nature that that which is not used atrophies from disuse. By abandoning the arts in childhood, music, poetry, pictures, and story, that part of us that can feel the quiet whisperings of deity remains dormant and undeveloped. That's why we spend so much time here in the arts, to provide fertile ground for the Spirit to work. Sometimes I hear from moms who say they don't feel anything when they read poetry or listen to classical music or read a piece of great literature. Unfortunately, that's a sad casualty of our mind-focused culture. The remedy is to start using those dormant faculties, gradually at first. If you've been out in the desert for days without food or water and sit down to a big meal of roast beef, mashed potatoes and gravy, hot buttered biscuits and turtle pecan cheesecake, that food's not going to stay down. You have to start with sips of broth, a little Jell-O, and some apple juice to wake the system up. I can tell you I've also heard from moms who are doing just that, and they are so excited at the new measure of joy that is filling their homes. If you've liked what you've heard in this first layer, I invite you to move on to the next layer. Watch the archived videos linked in the middle of our training page. You'll soon recognize the spiral system of learning as you hear similar things told from different angles, and the light will begin to go on as to what this all looks like. Sign up for the Right Hearts class for another layer. These are daily gems of inspiration to start creating new neural pathways of thought. Without new pathways, you'll just go back to thinking in old ways. You're weaving a new tapestry of thought, and you'll need many threads woven together to see the pattern begin to appear. Our Mother's University is also set up on a 12-month rotation schedule for spiral learning. Take some time to flit through it, at first like a butterfly, just to see what's in there. Stop and take a drink here and there when you see something that interests you. And then start working through it, 1 month at a time. You don't need to do everything you see because you're going to keep coming around, and each time you do, you'll layer in deeper understanding. Start to apply those things that you think will work well in your home and your circumstances with your children. Invite the Spirit into the process. If you have a few friends to join you, all the better. Get together once a month and talk about what you're learning and how you're applying it. I hope that you'll join our Well-Educated Heart Facebook group for additional support and encouragement. Notice especially the event button in the menu bar. These events make it possible for you to look for or share ideas and resources for specific topics. We are living in extraordinary times. No generation of mothers has been able to do what you are going to be able to do because no one has ever had the resources that you have. But if we want to see different results, we need to find new ways of doing things. You are among the pioneers who are blazing new trails for others to follow. It is often by small and simple means that great things have been accomplished. 5th century BC was a golden age for ancient Greece, a time noted for its love of beauty and joy of life. What happened there has influenced the world for 2,500 years. Historians give a lot of credit to a poet named Pindar, who at the beginning of that age breathed new life into the hearts of his people. After After all, that's the job of a poet. But left out of most history books are two other names, Corinna and Mirtis, two women, two renowned singers who were Pindar's teachers as a youth and who sang songs into his heart. The world may never know your name, but the impact you will have as one who tends to a child's heart is incalculable. In heaven's economy, mothers are a treasure of great worth. Libraries of Hope is here to help you do what only you can do. And now, on to the next layer.